Mother, tell your children not to walk my way.
Hello all, and as the title of this video says, this is about Ring of Honor and about piracy, which I'm sure none of you really want to hear me rant about, and some of you are going to get pissed off about, but I don't care. I watched Oliver's video that he posted up yesterday, and this has kind of spurred this, plus some other events. But, and he talked about the fact that he was kind of upset that people were watching Driven on the video streams. And I can't disagree with him. I'm kind of upset with it as well, to an extent. If you can't watch the pay-per-view because you don't have access to watch the pay-per-view, then this isn't necessarily geared towards you. However, if you can watch the pay-per-view and then you watched it on stream, well, then I do have a problem with it, because most of everybody that went out, because everyone that I would imagine watched it on stream probably had already seen Respect is Earned. I didn't talk about this when it came to Respect is Earned. The reason why I didn't talk about this when it came to Respect is Earned, because I wanted everybody to check it out, and I knew a lot of people that had never checked out Ring of Honor would check out Respect is Earned, so I never talked about it, because I figured, you know what, this was a way for people to at least check it out. But I'm going to talk about it on this one, because most of you had already checked it out. Ring of Honor, and before you come with me and say, oh, who cares, this is why it matters. Most of you have come on here and said that Ring of Honor, that Driven is an amazing pay-per-view, and most of you that, because of Respect is Earned, and have started to check more into Ring of Honor and gotten the DVDs, have all said, my God, this is so great, this is great stuff, which was in fact the purpose of the pay-per-views. And this is why I'm kind of on the pay-per-views, but I'll get to that. So, Ring of Honor is not WWE, Ring of Honor is not TNA. Ring of Honor entirely is based upon two things now, well, three. They're based on primarily their DVD sales. That is where the majority of their money comes from. Now, pay-per-view. This is a big deal because that relies back onto the DVD sales, because this is the reason why they're taped, is because they looked at this as a 2-hour ad for Ring of Honor DVDs. That's the way they looked at it. So I know a lot of people after I said that will say, well, if this is a 2-hour ad for the DVDs, then it doesn't matter if we're streaming it. But it does. Let me get to that. So you got that, and then of course the house shows, which is the other big, but they don't bring in enough people to really support, to really overlap the other two. So there you go. So this is their primary means of making money. When you basically buy, now if we use some of the guys, some of the guys have posted, yes, I watched it on stream, but I plan on getting it on DVD. Which, if you're going to do that, more power to you. I have nothing wrong with that. I think that's what you should do. If you're going to, if you can't watch it and you want to watch it, and you watch it, and then you say, well, I'm watching it, and no matter what I think about it, I'm going to buy the DVD, because that is how I can support Ring of Honor, because that's what it's about. If you're not giving your money to Ring of Honor, then you're not supporting Ring of Honor. And if you like Ring of Honor, you should be giving your money to Ring of Honor. I don't like TNA, but I'll buy TNA stuff. I will, because I want to buy the stuff that I think is good. I just got a couple things the other day. I'll just prove it to you. See, I got Best of the X Division matches and AJ Volume 2. Why? Because that's the type of stuff I want to see them do. And so in my own little way, I buy the stuff from them. But I support Ring of Honor probably a lot more than a lot of other people do. When Ring of Honor has their sales, and last weekend, and I didn't post a video of this, and I realized that like 2 days before the sale ended, or I thought it was going to end, Ring of Honor has its own shop, and on their shop they sell TNA stuff, WWE stuff, their own stuff, a bunch of stuff from independents. They sell a very select few IWA Midwest stuff. They sell some Noah stuff, and I try to buy everything I can from their site, because in return that's supporting Ring of Honor. If it's more money, I don't, because I still want to get a good deal. And if the WWE is selling one of their DVDs for less money than what TNA is or Ring of Honor is, well, I'm gonna buy it from WWE. But if Ring of Honor is selling it for a good price, I'm gonna buy it. That's how I got Backlash. I bought the Backlash DVD because they had it on sale for a very good price. Right, it's because I would rather that money go to Ring of Honor and then, WWE get their cut of it than buy it directly from WWE because I'm so fed up with WWE. Same thing for TNA. If TNA has something for less money than the TNA website, well, I'm going to buy it from Ring of Honor if I want it. So that's what I do because I feel that's supporting Ring of Honor. I buy stuff. I buy Pro Wrestling Noah stuff. Even I buy the legit DVDs and not the pirated DVDs from Japan because I want to send my money to Pro Wrestling Noah because I like Pro Wrestling Noah. I think it's really good, and I think they're doing a very good job, particularly for Japanese promotion. Now that means I have to put up with some utterly crap commentary, but I can mute it and I can watch the matches and I can enjoy it. So, and it's my way of supporting Pro Wrestling Noah. So if you're going to go around and you're going to pirate stuff, particularly in pro wrestling, and particularly pay-per-views, where the whole point of a pay-per-view is for them to make money off the pay-per-view. The whole point the WWE does pay-per-views is because they can't put on these events and make as much money from these events as they can putting it on TV. That's been documented. They've said this. They've talked about this. It's just the way it is. However, I hear so many people say they want to see Ring of Honor on television. Well, the way to get Ring of Honor on television is to buy the pay-per-views. Because if you can get, for example, I'm just going to throw out a number out there. This is not a legit number. This is just me throwing out a number. If they could get 100,000 buys for one of their pay-per-views, well then a network can go, well, if they're getting 100,000 buys for their pay-per-views, and we know that both TNA and WWE get this percentage of pay-per-view buys from their ratings, well, that means that theoretically Ring of Honor should get this rating, which would be a fairly good rating. So you know what? Why don't we give this promotion a chance? Why don't we put them on television? That's another reason that I don't like piracy when it comes to Ring of Honor. And the same thing goes for the DVDs. I don't like the DVDs. I'm not so hard-strung against because a lot of people have gotten into Ring of Honor because people put up matches from the DVDs. But what really irks me is when people put the whole DVDs up and say, okay, look, you can download the whole DVD. I have a problem with that. Why? Because that's how Ring of Honor makes their money. That's how they make the majority of their money. Again, they're not WWE. They don't rely on television deals, and they have other sources of income. That is their source of income, and so I have a problem with that as well. And this brings me to TNA. Yes, I'm going to defend TNA on this as well, because as most of you know, TNA gets the majority of their money from their pay-per-view buys. If you like TNA, you support TNA, if TNA puts on a pay-per-view or a pay-per-view you think you're going to like, and you want to spend the $30, I see nothing wrong with that. I think you should do that. I think you should go out of your way and spend the money on a TNA pay-per-view if you think it's going to be good and you think it's the type of thing that, you look at and go, wow, this looks like it might be good. If you look at Bound for Glory and say, this is the type of pay-per-view I want them to put on, then you should order it. Because as many of you sit there and say, well, I want WWE to have competition. You watching their pay-per-views on a stream somewhere for free is not giving them competition because you're not giving them the money to be competition. Now, maybe they won't use that money wisely. Well, that's possible. I mean, if you don't like TNA, well, I'm not talking to you. Oliver put it very well in his video, and this is somewhat of a response to his video too. I'm going to add this as a response for those of you who haven't seen it, where he talked about the fact that it's not like Ring of Honor doesn't take the money you give them and invest it back into the company, because they do. They continually bring in more more Japanese talent. They continually bring in more independent talent. They use their money very wisely. They always have. It's why they've succeeded the way they have. And so for people just to go, oh, well, I want to watch Ring of Honor, but I want to watch Ring of Honor for free because it's out there, grow a little bit of morals. Realize that if you really want to see this industry change, you're going to have that this can't be going on, particularly in the case of Ring of Honor and TNA pay-per-views. To be completely honest, if you people want competition for WWE, that's what's going to have to happen. So, kind of ranted and raved a little bit about this, but I hope you guys get the idea. Anyways, I'm out. Have a good one.